What's up, guys? You know who it is. Marcus J. Jackson with another Live Life episode, all right? Tonight, we're going to be talking about relationship once again and Operation Independence, okay? Operation Independence from this jacked up relationship, all right? Operation Independence from this jacked up relationship, all right? So as you know, every night, between the hours of 12 and 2 a.m., I make myself available for it. It's a listening ear, you know, someone to talk to, someone to listen to you. I will usually get on here at about 12, and I'll probably go to 1 with the video. And after that, you can feel free to reach out to me at 469-626-7486. Right. And, you know, I'll talk to you as long as I possibly can. And hopefully, you know, at the end of our conversation, you will choose to, you know, remain on this side of life as opposed to the other side of life. OK, because death is a part of life. Right. It's not it doesn't happen to life. Right. It's a part of life. Okay. No matter how it is, no matter how it happens. So if you choose, you know, if suicide becomes a choice, understand prior to making that decision that that is a part of life. And then when you realize that you actually don't die per se, you actually transition into the next lifetime or whatever assignment that's given to you at that particular time. You know, so just so you know, it's ultimately not an escape. You know, you're here. We repeat lessons until we learn them. All right. So you signed up to come down and inhabit a body and learn, have experiences in this body on this earth. So you may as well live life. All right. Let me put the resources up here real quick. And the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-TALK. All right. That is 1-800-273-8255. And that is going up in the comments now. If you need to talk to an expert or professional immediately, that is who you need to reach out to. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. If you are in danger of hurting yourself or someone else, I need you to hop off this video and call 911 immediately and get you some help, okay? So tonight, once I go get my tea, I had to make my water. Got a little bit of a late start, but we still rocking and rolling. This whole week has been dedicated to relationships, all right? And as you know, I do the suicide prevention and awareness. This is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, for one. And for two, I started the whole Live Life series because of a buddy of mine I spent some time in the Army with, decided to take his own life. You know, things became very, very overwhelming for him. Him choosing lifestyle and him choosing a religious way of life got the best of him, and you know, it just became too overwhelming, and he decided to take his own life. So you know, this is what generated the whole idea to do something like this. All right. Let me see what else. Any other announcements or anything that I need to make? I found this little article, and I'm going to read to you guys real quick before we get started. I will be right back, and we're going to get my tea. So you go get your tea. All right. So we tea sippers. We sip tea at night. All right. And why is my camera? Hold on. There we go. I bet people are going to be like, why does he always have to rub this darn camera? Because for some strange reason, it's like gloomy. I don't know if it's the positioning or what, but Anyway, I'm going to get it together. Y'all just bear with a brother. Okay, that looks better. Okay, all right. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some tea, and we will start rocking and rolling. Let me get a new mug. All right, we are back in action. Okay, so I got some good old dandelion root tea, right? You always want to make room for tea. Tea is excellent for studying, all right? If you are like cramming for a test or something like that, tea, get you some tea, you'll be surprised. Like, it'll keep you up. And it'll keep you alert because, for one, it's hot and you don't want to drop it on yourself. And two, it gives you something to do. Like, it keeps you busy, doing the motion and bringing it up to your mouth and so on and so forth. So that definitely helps out if you're trying to get your study on, cramming, trying to get that little bit of information in. So let's jump right into it. Let me see if I got any comments. Oh, okay. Shout out to Lulu. How are you this morning, ma'am? If you're still there. So here I found this article and it says agreements for being human, right? Well, basically the contract for being human. And I thought this was pretty awesome. So I'm going to read it. Wait a minute. There we go. So it's got like 9 different things on there. So number 1, you will receive a body. You may like it or not, but it will be yours for the entire period round. Number 2, you will learn lessons. You are enrolled in a full-time informal school called life, right? And I always make analogy, that similarity to life in the classroom, inhabiting the body, right? Each day in this school, you will have the opportunity to learn lessons. You may like the lessons or think them irrelevant and stupid. Number 3, there are no mistakes, only lessons, right? Growth is a process of trial and error, experimentation, if you will. The failed experiments are as much a part of the process as the experiment that ultimately works. All right. Number 4, a lesson is repeated until it is learned, right? So you're going to come back here anyway, right? I think Tupac said his biggest fear wasn't dying, but having to come back, right? I think he was trying to tell us something. Let's see, lessons. A lesson will be presented to you in various forms until you have learned it. Then you can go on to the next lesson. All right, number 5, learning lessons does not end. There is no part of life that does not contain its lessons. If you are alive, there are lessons to be learned. Number 6, there is no better than here. When your there has become here, you will simply obtain another there that will again look better than here. I like that. Number 7, others are merely mirrors of you. So true, guys. So true. Others are merely images of you. All right. They're mirrors of you. You cannot love or hate something about another person unless it reflects to you something you love or hate about yourself. So true. Let me go. Let me open this up a little bit. Number 8, what you make of your life is up to you. You have all the tools and resources you need. What you do with them is up to you. The choice is yours. All right. And then, oh wait, the next one is true. I'm sorry. The answers to life's questions lie inside you. Excuse me. All you need to do is look, listen, and trust. All right. So that was pretty cool. That's the contract for being human, right? That's from ancient texts. I think they say it's Sanskrit, but I think it goes back even further to ancient Kemetic principles or ancient Egyptian mystery, which is where African spirituality comes from. I think that's ultimately where that information comes from, right? So yeah, I think this is a lot more ancient than Sanskrit, and so yeah, I just wanted to read that to you, man. I thought that was a pretty good article, and I just wanted to share it. Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. All right, so relationship. So I did the relationship series. The motivation behind the relationship series is the fact that a lot of people will take their own life because of a breakup or divorce, right? Something didn't work out with the spouse, or even relationships, even the parent-child relationship, right, has reached a strain, and sometimes the child, because of fear of what the parent may think or disappointment of the child, then the child may decide to take its own life. And we do that. It happens more times than it doesn't. I mean, it's one time is enough. All right, so that's enough for me. So it shouldn't happen at all. I don't think suicide is an alternative when you signed up to live life, right? When you sign up to live life, you have to honor that contract, right? Honor the contract of inhabiting a body and living life. All right. So, and one of the biggest reasons why we've become so weak as a people emotionally, we've become so emotionally weak as a people is because we've always been codependent on someone. We've never reached that level of independence in a relationship. That's because the relationship with our parents was that of them taking care of us, right? Them taking full care of us emotionally, spiritually, physically. They made us feel safe and secure. There's a sense of obligation and or belonging to the parent, right? And therefore, you become codependent. Now, as a child, I understand being codependent upon a parent because you don't know any better. But once you reach adulthood, there's a level of independence that you should have, in my opinion, to help sustain you, to help sustain your mental health, right? It should definitely help you sustain your mental health. It should definitely help you take on life, right? If you will. for lack of better words, you got to grow the fuck up. I mean, that's basically what it boils down to. Like, you have to grow up. And we take that immature approach to our relationships when we get involved with relationships with somebody. We are looking for that codependency, right? And a lot of times we find that codependency because our cup is half empty, or half full, right? But the point and key to understand that relationships are not mathematical, okay? Relationships are realistic, okay? Relationships will inhabit the mind, body, and spirit, okay? So when in terms of relationships adding up, basic mathematic principles don't apply. So you have to understand that you have to be whole first, and your spouse or mate has to be whole before you enter a relationship together. Because two people who have half of their cups are full, right? And they're not here, they're here. All right, the cup is half full, and you're trying to rely on someone else to fill that cup. You're depending on someone else to put that happiness in there. You're depending on someone else to put joy inside your cup to bring it to a full level. You're depending on someone financially, because your cup is half full. You want all these things that this other person has in order to make you whole or make you happy or to soothe your ego of finding the ideal person or the perfect person, if you will. Okay? So tonight I'm going to help you sort through that. All right? And, try and gain some independence for yourself. And, so definitely go ahead and get you a pen and some paper, and we will get started. All right? Let me scoop this up. All right. Oh, boy. Woo! Okay. So make sure you got you some tea. All right? Make sure you got something to write with. And let's rock and roll. So, number one thing I want you to realize, right, Operation Independence is simply this. This is number one thing. Finance and bills. Ultimately, remember this one thing before I get started with that. If you need to be out of a relationship, right, there should be nothing holding you back, okay? If you need to be out of a relationship, if the relationship has gone unsafe, the relationship is no longer safe for you to be in, your life is in danger on a consistent basis, then there's no bill or no financial situation that is worth you risking your life. All right, let me say that first and foremost. Okay, so which brings me to number one: finances and bills. Right, and a lot of times freedom is unrealistic to us because we are actually held into the relationship because this other person is providing for us financially. Okay. But because we've kind of fallen into a weakened state, we think that it's normal for, and if your relationship works like this, please don't, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. I am specifically speaking to the people who are on the fence about suicide because things aren't working out with their spouse, right? I'm talking to the person who has no sense of independence, okay? And they need this video to basically help them kind of sort through their thoughts, right? So if you got it together, by all means, hey, please share. But because you are unable to pay your bills on your own, you think that you need this person for your financial stability, right? And that couldn't be further from the truth, guys. It's going to take a little bit of, it may take a little bit of downsizing. You may not be able to drive the big Mercedes anymore or the big Suburban anymore. You might not be able to drive, the luxury BMW and all that kind of stuff anymore. You may have to downgrade to something that you can afford by yourself because you no longer have that second income in the house, right? That is just a part of life, right? And I know a lot of times we present this status, or this lifestyle that we're living, and it's really not true at all. So you're basically maintaining this lifestyle or this facade of a lifestyle in front of people who really don't even care about you. Because if they cared about you, you will feel safe telling them that, hey, things aren't really what they seem. I'm really going through it right now. My husband or boyfriend beats me. I've been put in the hospital several times, but I'm just, standing here with my Gucci purse and my Chanel clothing and my red bottom shoes and driving my luxury car because he pays for it all. Or vice versa, or she pays for it all. So here's the game plan financially, all right? Because I never want to, point out flaws or inconsistencies as if I have it all together. And I'm telling you now, I don't. I don't know it all. I don't have it all together, and nor do I pretend that I do. Okay, I live comfortably. I've never wanted for anything. I take it back. There's some things that I want. I do want. But realistically, it doesn't really fit, my lifestyle. It doesn't fit the things that I want. Together, Foxy and I have 9 children. So me getting a Lamborghini is what that wouldn't even make sense, right? And if we have to go somewhere, we got to rent a car, or rent a van, but I got a Lamborghini sitting in the front yard. No, it just doesn't make sense. To me, it doesn't make sense. So you're going to have to downsize your lifestyle, all right? And how you do that, one of the number one rules is, I don't care what kind of relationship it is, it's a marriage or you guys are dating or whatever. A lot of us always make the mistake of trying to share bank accounts. Okay? No. You can have a bank account together, definitely, but you need your own independent bank account. You need your own savings account. You need your own checking account. Period. Okay? Period. You need your own financial setup because it doesn't. You know how you always think that, oh, well, that'll never happen. We'll always be together and we'll always make decisions together, right? But now this person has jumped town or skipped town with all of your money that you put together in the relationship that you thought was going to last forever. Okay? So we have to break ourselves from that. It's fine if you want to put some money into an account together. That's cool. But you need to have your own bank account. All right? That's going to be rule number 1, right? For Operation Independence. You need to have your own bank account. You need to have money going into that bank account every single week or month or whatever it is you decide to set up, just in case something happens. Okay? And that goes for both of you, the male and female. You need to have your own separate bank account. Okay? That's just the way it is. There is no argument about that. All right? It's a fact. Okay? Because the first thing that the person thinks of when they're about to leave is finances. Right? If I leave today, I'm going to have to take all the money because I want revenge. I'm upset. I'm mad. And you on the other side are without money, you can't take care of yourself, you become desperate and things of that nature, and you could have avoided all of this anger and frustration had you simply had your own bank account with money inside of it. Okay. And financial situations is very, very high on the list for those who attempt suicide and who have committed suicide. All right. So Operation Independence. Okay. Finance and bill. Let me talk about bills too. Now I had this conversation earlier, and the point about bills that this young lady brought up was the fact that they're not talking about regular bills. They're talking about mortgage and rent and car note, right? Those are the important bills, so it makes a difference in your decision making, right? For whatever reason you don't want to get out of this relationship, especially those physical abusive relationships, to me, you should do whatever you need to do to survive. Okay. But hey, only you know how serious the situation is. I'm just, on the outside looking in. If I wanted to leave a relationship because my physical safety was at risk, a car note would not stop me. Okay, the rent being due at the first of the month would not stop me. All right, a house going back to foreclosure would not stop me. Okay, because I value my life more than these material things, right? And I know these things have a more practical level, because the woman has the children, right? And she has to make decisions based on her and the children. I totally understand that, and I know that there's situations where you literally have no help whatsoever, right? You have no help whatsoever. Nobody will help you because they're under the false pretense that, just pray about it and stay in the relationship. He'll be all right. It'll be okay. It'll work itself out. And then you're laying dead, a couple of weeks later because, nobody decided to help you out, right? But make a plan for yourself. And the first part of that plan is establishing your own financial account. I don't know what else you can do. Maybe ask for ask your family, can they help you out, some kind of way? If you need to get a second job, if you need to do this more covertly, then, hey, by all means do so. I just want you to survive. I want you to live through this situation. All right. So, just make plans, reach out. There's resources that are available. I Speak Foxy is an organization that caters to women of domestic violence, men, women, and children of domestic violence, or who have experienced sexual assault, all right, or sexual abuse. Okay. So that Facebook page is I Speak Foxy, FOXYE, and you can join the little Facebook page, and you can tap into all the resources there. I don't even think you have to join. You just kind of, you can go on the page. It'd be cool if you want to join, but you don't have to. And my wife, Foxy, is the founder of that organization. So they provide clothing, toiletries, if they have shelter resources that they can, they have shelter resources that they can help you with also. Definitely don't let finances stop you, or don't let the fact that you're dependent on this person for all your financial needs. You need to start making a plan for yourself, and have the ability to take care of yourself. All right. So number two, children. Children it's a very, very delicate situation because we find ourselves allowing the children to make the call, right? And what I mean by that is you don't want to move the children's school. So you stay in this fucked up relationship because you want your children to go to the best school, right? Or you want your child to stay with their friends or graduate with their friends. And it's like, I get it, but at the same time, we're talking about your physical safety. We're talking about your life, okay? I think your children will understand, okay, that you had to make a decision and pull them out of school. They would much rather have the opportunity to make new friends as opposed to listen to mommy and daddy fight and beat on each other every night. All right, I can guarantee you they will enjoy that better because I myself had to endure that. I listened to my mom and dad beat the shit out of each other every night. Okay, so I know how children feel in that situation. They will not mind, okay, especially if they know about it, okay? If they don't know about it, explain to them the situation and they will love you for it, all right? I'll get you some tea. Everybody take a quick sip. You know, we due for a break. Oh, man. So good. Oh. Okay. Children. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say about the children in these situations. It's very, very delicate, right? And I get it. You know, you don't want to take your children, because my mom, you know, she would take us and we would go spend the night over here, and then we'll go spend the night over there because our so-called friends of the family didn't want us to stay there. You know, they want us to go back to freaking, man. Anyway, you know, they want you to go back to to your husband. You know, it'll be all right. Y'all just work it out. Just pray about it. What's what they always used to tell us. But anyway, so let's move on to transportation. So a lot of times we, because of the financial situation, the car belongs to the spouse, right? Or the spouse is paying for the car per se. And we don't have any transportation, which further lends to the fact that you need to have your own source of income, for one, or the ability to generate money on your own, okay? So that transportation doesn't become a problem, all right? But what I want to invite you to do is, like I said, get you a separate bank account and start trying to get a car or some transportation for yourself, okay? There are plenty tote the note lots, all right? And like I said, you're just gonna have to humble yourself, right? Humble yourself until you can get out of this situation, all right? Go get you a little Hoomty, drive that sucker till the wheels fall off, so it can carry you to your second job, or, carry you to your new job. Go pick up your kids from whatever kind of daycare arrangement you have, or pick them up from school, right? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a cakewalk, but it is possible, and I believe that you can do it, all right? So transportation, you can also take the bus, right? They have different type of ride share programs, Uber and Lyft. You can carpool with someone. If you need to take the bus in the morning, maybe you'll meet someone at work that lives close to you, and you could say, hey, you think I can get a ride? So be creative. Get a bike, right? Walk if you're able to, okay? Or get a job that's close to your house. Find a daycare that's close to your house, so you can walk and pick up your children, and you can walk and go to work, right? Until you can save up enough money to get you a car. All right. It's just one of those things. It's one of those lessons in life that you had to learn the tough way. And it doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't make you any less of a diva, right? It doesn't mean your status is going to drop, right? Because if you had knowledge of self, if you're operating in knowledge of self, then you're not worried about what anybody thinks anyway, right? Which that's what's going to, later on, we'll talk about that, all right? So finances, children, transportation, and so let's talk about what, okay. If your mindset is revenge, okay, you're going to make the process a whole lot more challenging, all right? Because the young lady that I talked to a couple days ago is going through a divorce, all right? And she's initiating the divorce and everything. And she wants to get a lawyer. And I said, you don't have to have a lawyer. You can go online, file the proper documents, right? Or go to the law library, or get there's a public service. Oh man, I forgot what that is. But legal aid. You can contact legal aid and they will give you the resources necessary to find somebody. If they can offer you, resources that may be a discounted price or something that you don't have to pay a tremendous amount of money for. You can also ask a lawyer to do it pro bono. Explain your situation to the lawyer and say, hey, this is what it is. Can you help me out? Put it on a payment plan or something like that. But her whole purpose was to try to stick it to this guy. I want to, her exact words were, I want to make him pay because he hurt me, and I'm angry and I'm mad, and I'm like, okay. So here's the thing. That is completely normal. That's fine. But you're going to really, really drag out the process by taking it into a formal court and trying to extract the finances from this man so you can maintain your lifestyle. Okay. Especially if you've been working, I'm in the state of Texas, alimony, you have to have literally not worked and provided for the entire time for somebody to have to pay the alimony for you. So I would, I understand. I understand, the revenge because that's where you are at this point in life. I get it. But remember, we always want to operate out of love, first of all. And remember that you're in this position because you accepted this type of behavior. You allowed this type of behavior to carry on. You let this person do this to you, right? So you want revenge as if you are a victim of some sort and you allowed this to happen, right? You didn't take the necessary precautions to keep this from happening, And then, we say, oh, well, I didn't know he or she was going to cheat on me. How could I have prepared for that? How could I have known that? You can't. You couldn't have known that. But with that being said, just like you didn't prepare to be cheated on, you didn't prepare for any financial pitfall. What if you guys had loss of the business or somebody lost a job? You would then be forced to downgrade, lower your status, not buy the red bottoms and, not eat out at Houston's every day and Red Lobster here and, the Crab Shack there, right? Okay, so, what's so different about now? Okay, what's so different about now? There's really no difference except your life may be in danger. Okay, so don't feel victimized because, you allowed this to happen. You saw red flags prior to now, but you ignored them. So why are you playing the victim role now? Right? You knew something was going on, but you decided to go back. You decided to stay with him. You decided to stick it out. Right? So why so much anger and animosity at him or her? You know, because you're the one, you could have left a long time ago, but you didn't. All right? So it's one of those things that we have to learn from, right? And grow from, and form a way of self-development in this, become the strongest version of ourselves by knowing who we are and being mindful going into our next relationships of those things that we learned in the past. All right. So you have to be careful with doing things out of spite, because just like you put that energy out, you're going to get that energy back. All right. So don't use divorce as a tool to get revenge or to pay the person back for treating you bad. All right. You have a sense of, I deserve to be paid for the hate and the children that he made me have and all this kind of stuff. I deserve to have this, and then the same thing with the guys, I helped put you through school. I helped you get that nursing degree. I helped you get that doctor's degree. I deserve half of your money. It's this whole entitlement thing that we have. It's the other side of the ego that really, really drags us through the mud. But anyway, let's move on. Then you have to overcome what people say, right? You're worried about, I know one relationship, the young man said that he spent $10,000 on the marriage, so he had to get married. And because he was worried about what his mother and father were going to say, because they had spent, I think they had paid half of the wedding. They spent $5,000 on it, and he spent $5,000, and he didn't want to throw the whole thing away. And I'm like, what? It turned out that she cheated on him a week before they got married, and he caught her or something like that. I forgot how the story went, but he didn't want to. He knowingly went into a toxic relationship because he didn't want to waste money. All right, it's not and guys, trust me, I've been married, this is 3 times now. All right. Went through 2 divorces, and now they say the 3rd time's a charm. And my wife now, we have an awesome relationship. I always joke with her and I say our relationship is perfect. And for the most part it is. We have, our normal arguments just like any other couple. But, ultimately our relationship is awesome. But we have to be at a point in life where we can accept that the knowledge of self has to reign supreme at some point. Okay? And it's very, very key that we understand that. And when we have an understanding of self, we are not worried about what people say. We're not worried about mom or dad getting upset over losing $5,000, right? You can pay mom and dad back. Okay? You could take some of those, the suits and the bridesmaid stuff and the groomsmen stuff, take that back or sell it. I don't know. Sell some stuff. Find a way to pay your parents back or pay the loan back or whatever it is. But don't knowingly go into a toxic relationship just because you feel obligated. Okay? But anyway, that's a whole nother video, whole nother something to talk about. Because people are always going to have something to say, right? It's just a part of it. So don't be so weak-minded that you can't endure people talking shit about the breakup, right? It's just natural. Like they're naturally going to. What in the world is that? Boy, I swear to God, my children think this house is a barn. There's another fly in here. We come in the house, they lay the door wide open, and I'm like, close the door. Like flies and mosquitoes come in the house. Like right outside the house is a freaking body of water. It's like a little lake right outside the house. Like, why would you leave the door open? Right? Now there's a freaking fly flying around in the house again. Right? Same thing happened yesterday. Anyway. So yeah, don't worry about what people say, man. People are going to say everything. And just be willing to endure that. Don't be so weak-minded that you can't handle, I can't handle people talking about us and people talking about me. And they're going to judge me and they're going to say this and they're going to say that. They're going to say it anyway, guys. They're going to say it any freaking way. So please don't get caught up in that. Right? Please don't get caught up in that. And if you have to move in with a mom or a dad and, you got to listen to them talk shit about your relationship and how they spent $5,000 on your marriage and it didn't even go through, tell them, oh, well, love me anyway. Because that's just one little section in my life where I went through this little lesson that needed to be learned. Okay? That's it. Just tell them, hey, I had to learn that. I say, hey, I learned that lesson. It's time for me to move on. I can pay you back, $100 a month for the next 5 years until I get it paid off. Okay? I mean, you just got to endure that. So what? They're going to talk. They're going to talk anyway. If your relationship works out, they're going to talk. I've been married to Foxy for almost 7 years, and people still, no matter what, they talk shit about our relationship, right? How can they make it with 9 kids? How did they have a house with 9 kids? How did they have an apartment with 9 kids? Why would he want to marry her and she's got 5 kids? Why would she want to marry him and he's got 5 kids? Just all this, just stupid shit, right? Stupid shit. So you don't need that. You don't need that. So, but you're in a situation where you have to tolerate it because it's reality. And people are going to talk about reality, right? They're going to have their little opinion, their 2 cents. So don't be so weak that you can't handle people talking, about the relationship. It's just what is. They're going to do it. People are ignorant. 90% of the people are vibrating at a very, very low rate. So don't feel like, you punishing yourself by going through this situation and not, and not listening or being around them, right? When you have to, you don't have anywhere else to go. Like you don't have anywhere else to be. Your parents are the only people that can help you, right? So you have to go back, get on your feet and the whole 9. All right. So, don't worry about what people say. All right. And one of the biggest things that we experience in a divorce or a breakup is a very, very high stress level. All right. And it doesn't seem like it at first. We always play this. I'm not worried about it. He can do what he want to do. I'm going to do me and you do you. And that's just it, and you're ultimately stressed. It doesn't, you can acknowledge the fact that you're stressed or not. It really doesn't matter. But I know for a fact, because I've been doing this for a while. I've been a relationship coach for a lot of years. And I know that the body responds to the mind being worried about how am I going to do this without him? How am I going to do this without her? Right? It is a natural precursor to divorce. Okay? It's a natural precursor to divorce. It's a prerequisite, if you will. Not a prerequisite, but it's an after requisite. I just made that up. Right? So there's separation anxiety. There's loneliness that you're dealing with. You're worried about finances. You're worried about the children. So you're producing high levels of stress. And when you produce high levels of stress, you secrete high levels of cortisol, right? That is the stress hormone, okay? And that stress comes in the midsection, and it comes in the thighs and the buttocks, right? That's where the cortisol deposits. So that's why you wake up one day and you got this big belly and you have these sagging hips. Okay, I know that for a fact, because I have waken up one day and all of a sudden I got 2 glazes and a cake hanging off the side of my stomach because I'm worried. I gained weight. I lost weight, going through my divorces. I went through a lot of depression and anxiety and all of that. So I know firsthand, and I've watched people in relationships go through a point where they're tiny in the whole relationship. And once the relationship is over with, then they go back to eating garbage or eating fast food, and bloof, they blow up. They get really, really overweight. They get really, really unhealthy. So I would invite you to start working out, because if you start working out during this breakup, it will help you, or this divorce, it will help you deal with that stress. It'll help you cope with that stress. You will process that cortisol, right? And it won't stick to you, and you won't have that, the belly fat, or the sagging thighs, or the sagging butt, or the skin begins to sag because you've gone through a worrisome state, right? Your face changes, your hair changes, you stress out, you start to get self-conscious, because you're not with somebody anymore. You become paranoid because you think every man is trying to talk to you, and every man wants to have sex with you, because you're a single woman now, right? So there's a lot of stress that goes on, especially if you've been married for a long time, and the stress of not having to deal with it becomes a stressor too. All right. So that's the information I had. Make sure you start working out, guys. Make sure you start working out, because it's going to really help you bypass a lot of problems. Okay. So that's the information I wanted to share with you guys tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are on the fence about suicide, please call the experts at 1-800-273-TALK. That is 1-800-273-8255. All right? Call them. They have resources that can help you. If you are in danger of hurting yourself or someone else, please call 911. Right? Click off this video right now and call 911. Because ultimately the video is over. I'm just doing the closing remarks and statements. All right. If you would like to talk to me, I am available until 2 a.m. tonight. My contact number is 469-626-7486. All right. If you call me during the day, keep in mind that I am a realtor. I engage in buying, selling, and leasing houses. All right. Also a life coach, relationship coach, right? I'm also a youth mentor. Okay, so I am always on the phone. So if you call and I do not answer, leave me a message or shoot me a text message, okay? You can also email me at marcusjjackson@hotmail.com, okay? Listen, live life to the fullest, right? Y'all take it easy. Try not to do too much. Peace.